Hey, good people. How you doing? I hope you're good. I hope your day is going awesome. I hope you feel all right because I feel all right. Welcome to the replay if you are catching this on replay. I'm excited to be here with y'all today. I know if you are not new, if you are OG, you are like, girl, Mo, where have you been? A lot's been happening. It's fine. It's okay. We working through it because that's just how life is. So welcome to the broadcast. I am Mo James, certified confidence coach and founder of Confidence Coaching for Her. This is a digital community and personal development brand that supports women like you with discovering yourself, calling up your courage, practicing your boundaries because you deserve it and you are worth it and you are valuable and all of those beautiful and wonderful things. And in this quick chat today, I just want to catch you up on some stuff. And then I want to give you something because I have been talking since the beginning of time, since the beginning of this brand about confidence and how confidence rests on self-trust. And I realized recently that it it is difficult for a lot of us to learn how to trust ourselves, and I think I know why. So I want to talk about that too. But let me just tell you what's been going on with me. So some of you know, my family moved. We moved from Arizona back to the East Coast. That's going well. We're still in the move. This is like the longest move ever, but it's all right. And recently, a couple of weekends ago, I did my first in-person speaking event. The first one that I had done probably since pre-pandemic. I was a panelist for Girl Get Off the Couch Live that happened in Augusta, Georgia, and it felt really good just to be back in that type of setting. It felt really good to be having conversations with the women who attended the event, to get on the stage and talk with the other panelists about the conversations about knowing when to leave, knowing how to leave toxic environments, toxic relationships, first recognizing that you're even in a toxic relationship, like all of those things. That felt really good. It was like I felt that spark that I used to feel in the very beginning. I told the story a lot over the last probably few months about how this brand started and how we started with events. We started at the time, I didn't even know it was a women empowerment brand. I was just hosting events, getting women together to talk about our natural hair journey, and then recognizing that the conversations, while on the surface were about hair, underneath was about self-discovery and about redesigning our lives and finding ourselves and all of those beautiful things. So again, I've just been having a lot of experiences lately that are bringing those feelings back to me, and it feels really good. So I decided I would pop on today just to kind of flirt with the idea of do having our live chats again, just talking about stuff. If you follow the brand on our other social channels, on Instagram, on TikTok, you've seen me because I've been creating content and publishing content, but I haven't been doing these live chats for a while, and I think these might be coming back. All right, so let's talk. Let's talk about what I've been doing. So, like I already told you, doing in-person events, uh, changing stuff around in the back end of the business, and unexpectedly, it was a beautiful distraction, I would call it. I published a journal. I was going to say my first work. This is my first published work as an adult because I used to write and illustrate and make my own books in elementary school. Like, yeah, make the whole thing. And then one of my teacher convinced the librarian or somebody to allow my books, the books that I wrote, illustrated, and made, paste with, wallpaper and cardboard, made the covers of the books and everything. But my books were in the school library for other students to check out. So, publishing the Inner Strength Journal is my first. adult published work. And I just realized I don't have one in front of me. So let me grab it. This is and this is the proof copy. This is the not for resale. This is my author proof copy. But publishing this journal was a beautiful distraction because it wasn't something that I had planned to do. I can honestly say I did not plan to publish this journal. This was not in my plans 3 months ago. It is a testament to paying attention. Some of you have heard me say probably that I believe life is always trying to teach us stuff. And when you are paying attention, when you are aligned, when you are in tune to what life is trying to show you, you get beautiful distractions. Beautiful distractions. So that came out July, the end of July, and I am so excited just to see the women who have purchased and getting their copies, and they're sending me text messages, and they're DMing me on Instagram, and leaving reviews on Amazon, all of those things, and that is just so amazing. It's one of those things that, again, you go into something, you get an idea, you have a vision for something, you're not sure what is going to happen. We never are. But trusting yourself enough to move through it and to walk it out, and then on the other side to get the confirmations, the affirmation, not that it was needed because you already did it anyway, but just to get that on the other side has just been really beautiful and amazing. And I'm just excited for everything else that is going to come. So if you haven't grabbed your copy, the Inner Strength Journal, you could go to innerstrengthjournal.com and order it, and then let me know what you think. I'll tell you more about it at the end. But anyway, so let's talk. That's what I've been doing. Now, let's talk about this whole being a stranger to yourself. So, like I said, the self-trust piece, that is a requirement. Like, you can't get to the confidence that you desire for yourself if you don't know how to trust yourself. Day before yesterday, I published a video on TikTok with the snippet of a press conference with Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. And in the snippet, he's saying, your opinion of me is not the opinion I have of myself. And then I jumped on it and stitched it and talked about how your self-awareness, your self-ownership, meaning really being able to tell the truth to you about you and love you anyway, and your confidence functions as a vaccine. Like, it immunizes you, it immunizes us against the infections that can come with people's ebbing and flowing opinions about you. And so, recognizing that getting to that confidence, getting to that self ownership, getting to that self trust requires you to get to know you. Like, I realize that there are a lot of us walking around in a stranger's body. Like, we don't even know who we really are. And that's not our fault, because we have been shown ways to be that we just modeled, we just followed what we saw. We have been taught ways to be. We have been programmed ways to be. The messages, the visuals, the messages we get in magazines and on TV and all these things, like, we are constantly being told who to be. And all of those things shape who we end up acting like, not, and doesn't leave room for us to discover who we are. We end up acting like a person, and it's usually not until everything in our life explodes. I talked at the event about how I had some really major blow ups happen in my life a couple of years ago, and how those were opportunities for rediscovery. More often than not, most of us don't we don't willingly go into that discovery of ourselves. We follow the example and we get comfortable with that example, and then we just rinse and repeat that, right? And so that makes it hard to create an opinion. The only opinion of you that matters is the one you hold. But if you're not willing to get to know you, then you can't possibly have an opinion about yourself and trust that person. You can't trust somebody you don't know. And so when I talk about self-trust and confidence, there's a little bit of a disconnect there because we haven't done the work actually to know ourselves. So we cannot even get to the trust part yet. Imagine you are building a relationship with somebody. It could be romantic or not. Before you can get to the point that you can say, I trust this person, you have to invest some time and some energy into getting to know them well enough so that you can make that decision. And the point I'm making here is the same needs to apply to you. You have to be willing to invest that time and energy. First, peeling off the stuff that's not true to you. But you can't peel off the stuff until you examine it and tell the truth about it. And be willing to divorce yourself from the idea of who mom and them and grandma and auntie and teachers and counselors and pastors and all of these people in your coming up life, all of these people who had opinions and who told you who to be and who told you how to act and who told you what was appropriate and who told you, they were molding you into something that might not be the real you. And so I'm inviting you to consider if the real you might be buried underneath who you were told to be, the obligations that were placed on you, the expectations that you were forced to carry. The real you might be underneath that. And if you give yourself the chance to get to know that person, then the opinion that you form about that person will become the only one that matters. Then you'll be immune to other people having commentary or offering unsolicited feedback. It won't make you no never mind because you will be so planted and so rooted in who you are, and you accept that person fiercely. Other people's opinions won't even matter. And so how do you get there? If you're watching this and you're like, okay, Mo, I hear you, I agree, but I don't even know where to start. I'm glad you asked the question. So I want to give you some tips to help you not be a stranger to yourself. Help you stop feeling like you don't even know where you fit. And because you don't know where you fit, you go into different situations constantly. You're like a chameleon. You are constantly changing your personality, your perspective, your outlook based on who's in the room. I'm inviting you to step into your thermostat era, where you no longer change to reflect the room, but you walk into the room and you change the temperature. So let's talk about it. How do you get there? If you don't know who you are, you're unsure, you're not clear, how do you get there? First, I want you to start practicing being aware, meaning noticing it, acknowledging, telling the truth about your feelings and your thoughts. Now, I know for some of us, especially my experience, being in corporate, being in the military, you could not have feelings and you could not have thoughts. You could only follow directions. And so I know for some of you that may be difficult, but I'm here to tell you that there is a lot of wisdom in those feelings. There's a lot of wisdom in there. And if you have only known how to stifle your feelings, you've been stifling your wisdom too. So the first thing is to practice recognizing it and not doing the thing that you automatically do, which is maybe distract yourself with a project. You start to feel uncomfortable about something, so you turn here and you start getting busy. Distract, distract, distract. Don't do that. Sit in it. Be uncomfortable. Sit in it and allow it to rise and listen to what it has to say. There's a quote, I think it's Tracy Ellis Ross, where she says, "There is wisdom in a woman's anger." Child, she is right. Listen, if 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 I don't I this is gonna sound weird, but I'm gonna say it. I thoroughly enjoy getting angry. I am a friend to my anger because it's in my anger. If I listen, I'll get the answer. I will get I will get the words to help me express myself. I will get the reason. I will get the thing underneath it. And I know culturally, women are not supposed to be angry. My anger is my friend. I listen to her. Okay, first, that's the first one. Be aware of your thoughts and feelings. The second one, expressing yourself. Practice expressing yourself truthfully, not talking around the thing, not taking 5011 detours when the straight path could have worked, not being so obsessed and focused and invested in controlling other people's feelings that you do not say what is true for you. Express yourself openly and honestly. Be clear, be concise. Don't care about what how the other person is going to perceive it. That's a whole different conversation. Don't be so concerned that you don't want other people to be upset, mad, uncomfortable around you that you stifle your own voice. That's tip 2. Tip 3, decide what your personal standards, your core values are, and stick to them. Like, give yourself a standard and stick to the standard, whatever your standard is. Stop being, another sidebar. Hey, Selena, another sidebar. Okay. Women, and I'm talking culturally, societally, women who play well with others usually get rewarded, which means the women who have boundaries or who will say no or who stick to their guns are usually called something else. And that's a trick because that programs women to be so flexible that they don't recognize themselves. Like it programs women to be willing to turn themselves into a pretzel to make other people comfortable, happy, make other people's lives easier at our expense. And I just find that unacceptable. And if you want to get to know yourself better, you will decide what you stand for and what you don't stand for, and you will stand for and against those things. And let the chips fall, because again, this whole process is about you learning how to trust you. And if you are more invested or more comfortable looking to other people as your source for comfort, for affirmation, for validation, you will never learn how to trust yourself. Sometimes you have to draw your line and decide, this is where I stand. And trust that the people who will be with you, and the people who won't. Either way, you'll still be good. That's my third tip. Fourth tip is taking care of yourself, which ties right into the third tip. There is no reward for being a martyr. There is no reward. There is no badge. You don't get a trophy. You get none of those things for exhausting yourself to the point that you can no longer, like you have nothing left for you. Recognize what your body is telling you about when it's time to stop pouring out and start pouring in. Start filling yourself up. And be a fierce defender of that time. And I promise you, people are not going to like it. I promise you that. I promise you that. Guess what? You'll be okay, and so will they. Tip 5. Practice resilience. I know that we have been taught that the safe bet is the other person. The safe bet is what somebody else says. The safe bet is somebody else's plan for your life. The safe bet is whatever. That's not true. The safe bet is you. Once you know you. Once you know you and you are so 100% good with you, the safe bet is you. Trust yourself and encourage yourself, knowing that regardless of what happens after I take this step, regardless of what happens after I have this courageous conversation, regardless of what happens after I let this thing go, I will be okay. I will be okay. You will be okay. And if you're hearing me say that and you are feeling the resistance, I want you to consider that there may be more room for exploration of you so that you can say those words to yourself and believe it. Because I'm good. I'll be all right. I'm good. Regardless of what happens, whether nobody is standing with me, I'm good. I trust me. I want you to trust you. All right, last tip. This is a big one. All right. The last tip for getting to know yourself is to pursue, meaning to implement, to take action on the dreams, vision, goals that you have for yourself. You know, those secret ones that you wrote in your journal that you haven't been willing to give voice to yet. Like you're afraid to even say the words. You wrote it down because you got sick of that thing swimming around in your head, aggravating you all the time. So you wrote it down, but you haven't yet brought yourself to actually speak it out. I want to do this. Or I see this for myself. I believe I can get this. Those things. Go after it. Pursue it. Take action. Be about it. And you're doing all of that without being detracted and distracted by other people. You believe so wholeheartedly in those things that you are walking it out without allowing room or space for other people's doubt, limitations, fear, lack of belief to cause you to abandon yourself. It will be hard for you to trust yourself when you haven't invested the time in getting to know yourself. There was an event that I used to like to go to. I went to it a couple of years in Tucson called Tucson Meet Yourself. And basically it was an event. It took place over the course of like a week, I think, or a couple of weekends, where all of these different businesses, organizations, associations would come out and post up, and You could literally walk around and be like, oh, I didn't know this was here. Oh, I didn't know that was here. Oh, I didn't know we had this. There are parts of you that you don't even know about because you haven't been giving the room to express it. You haven't been giving the time to explore it. You are worth getting to know. You are worth getting to know. And if you believe that, then you will get to know you so that when you show up to the networking things or the meet cutes or the get-togethers, the soirees, the shenanigans, the tomfoolery, when you show up to those things, you will bring all of you there. And you will be so secure and grounded in all of you that you will actually be able to better discern who is for you and who's not. You are worth getting to know. And so if you've listened to me and you recognize even just a little bit that you are a stranger to yourself, I'm here to encourage you to start today with changing that. Like, you have time. You have this moment. You can start figuring you out so that you won't be looking to other people to do that work for you. First of all, those other people can't. So you will be disappointed if those are your expectations. You will be disappointed every time. If you believe you are worth knowing, you will start practicing becoming aware of your thoughts and feelings, expressing yourself openly and honestly, sticking to your core values, your personal standards, the ways that you want to conduct yourself. That will be your standard. You will prioritize taking care of you first, because pouring from an empty cup, like, come on, that is so over. That is so done. Exhaustion is not a badge of honor. It's not. You will encourage your own resilience, and you will go after the things that you desire. And that's it. So I want you to write those tips down. And if you recognize that you could use more, you're like, Mo, this was good. This was a nice little appetizer, but I need a little bit more. I want to encourage you to grab the Inner Strength Journal, because in here, there are 65 prompts and activities and questions that are all designed to help you get to know you so that you can show up authentically and courageous. You can't do those things if you don't know yourself. You can't form that opinion about you that makes you immune to other people's stuff. You can't do that if you don't know you. And so I'm encouraging you to get to know you, because you are worth knowing. I believe that, and I hope you believe that for yourself. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, anything, you can find us all over social. You can drop those questions, comments, anything in the comments of this video wherever you happen to be watching it. I would love to hear them. Grab your copy of the Inner Strength Journal. Link will be posted in the description caption of this video. And yeah, you're worth knowing. But before you seek to be known by other people, be known by yourself first, because you're worth it, period. All right, I'm getting out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Bye.